Hello, everyone, and welcome to a super duper rock and roll edition of Talk Joshi. This is episode 20. Folks, we are running to the hills. We are caught in a mosh because we
Oh,
are all about the Symphony of Destruction. Andy Header,
yes.
like a fever dream of a tour being announced earlier today. I mean, let's just talk about. Let's start off with the best news possible. Iron Maiden coming back to not only Iron Maiden is coming back to tour
Hmm.
in the Northeast in fall of next year. So like, awesome! It's Iron Maiden. Yes, Hershey, Pennsylvania. I am there. Special guest, Megadeth.
Yes.
What? Special guest, Anthrax. Are you
Anthrax.
kidding me? Andy Header, I'm thinking about this, and I'll throw it to you in a second. I think these are three of my top six favorite bands of all time.
Wow.
I'm going in my head. Number one is Ozzy and Black Sabbath, and I will
Hmm.
never separate the two. It's like, who do I love better, my wife or my daughter?
Yeah,
I
it's
will
like
never
Star Wars.
separate the
Solo
two.
movie.
Yeah. So Ozzy and Sabbath's number one, Metallica's number two, Megadeth's number three.
No, there you
Then
go.
my number four,
Slayer.
5, and 6 goes between Slayer, Iron Maiden, and Anthrax. So yes, three of my top favorite six bands, and then In Flames is number seven.
Oh,
So
not bad. Not bad at all.
yeah, that's a good
Hmm.
list. But yeah, I was like, I saw that, and I was like, at first, I was like, this can't be real. I thought it was like an AI thing, and I was like,
Yeah.
no, this is real. And even said it's called Fear. It's called Run to the Hills, which they've only played Run to the Hills once when I seen them, which is weird. For some reason, they're like, yeah, we're just not going to play Run to the Hills. So the name of the tour is Run to the Hills. My guess is they're playing Run to the Hills. But
I would think so. I
wow,
hope so.
this has got to be the big tour for next year, right?
Yeah, like so this was out of nowhere. I didn't hear anything. I know a couple days ago Dave Mustaine posted about, Megadeth's last year, last album coming, all that. So I figured they're probably not going to tour. It's probably just gonna be, here's the last album. We're done. See you later. Thanks for all the support. It's like I seen this today pop up because Kelly tagged me in it, and it was like 10 minutes after she tagged me. I was like, oh, look at this. I was at work. I was like, Iron Maiden, Hershey, PA. That's at first. That's all I seen. Eddie. I seen Iron Maiden. That's all that went in my mind. I'm like, I want to go. I haven't seen Iron Maiden in years. That's awesome. They go down. Megadeth. I'm like, all right, this is great. And then Anthrax. So now we got two of my top favorite bands. Probably my top two are Megadeth and Anthrax. And Iron Maiden's up there. I don't really know where, but Iron Maiden, I love Iron Maiden. So like, I was like, I'm looking at this. I'm like, and like you said, I'm like, is this fake? Is it AI? Because who knows what's AI now? I'm like, maybe it's an old tour that I missed them. And then I'm looking, and I'm like, I don't know, it's 2026, and they announced it already that far in advance. I'm like September 15th, 2026 in Hershey, Pennsylvania. I'm like, well, I'm going. That's all I had to think about. Like, this is awesome. Like, we're going. I don't know what tickets are. I don't care because it's like Megadeth's last year probably touring. Iron Maiden probably don't got too many years left, and you're just Anthrax, so they're probably right about the same age as Megadeth, maybe a little younger. So yeah, this is awesome. Looking forward to it. I wonder if they had like a fourth opening act, who that would be, Overkill or
Who
something.
cares?
Yeah,
Don't even.
Exodus.
Yeah.
It could be some guy from Hershey playing a drum and a jug. I don't care.
Yeah, what a lineup!
I
What an
know.
insane!
Awesome.
I already booked it with a. I said I sent thing over to Amber and I said just let you know, and she's like, yeah, of course, absolutely, absolutely. It's like, why did you?
Hershey.
I said just letting you know. Yeah, I just had Slayer there not that long
Yeah.
ago, so great venue. Mosh pit is massive, so yeah, I
Easy to
might
get
have
to. Easy to
easy to
park.
get. Yeah, yeah, parking's really easy. Yeah,
Hershey's a nice city. It's not a bad. There's nothing to worry about. There's no crime there or anything like that. So it's right off the highway. Like I was like, this is perfect.
sweetest place in the world, buddy.
Yeah, yeah.
Sweetest.
I
Go
was
ahead.
down there last week because I like to be a big shot and give out full size candy bars for Halloween because trick or treat is next week. So I went to the cheap discount grocery store. They didn't have anything, so we went to Hershey, the actual factory, and you go to Hershey with Chocolate World they call it, and they sell the cases of chocolate, and you give you a deal. It's like two of them for $45. So I was like, there we go. And so I was in the sweetest place in the world, the Hershey Chocolate World.
Andy Header is very much like Miyu Amasaki for the kids. I don't know if you like
Hmm.
after these Neo Genesis matches, Miyu Amasaki picks up a random kid and takes a selfie with them.
Yeah,
Andy Header, you are the Miyu Amasaki of the Talk Joshi Stardom
there we
cast,
go.
Marigold Standard universe. But look at you giving out giant
I
chocolate
know,
bars.
full, because I remember when I was a kid, when you would get a full peanut butter cup, like just the one, remember the one wrapped, you'd be like, oh, that house is giving out full peanut butter cups. But then, like, the legends where you get two peanut butter cups, or dare I say it, the full chocolate bar. When you're a kid, that's like that's finding gold. That's like here and your tax returns come back and you're getting 10 grand. Like when you're a kid, that's awesome. Full size candy bar. And then the other thing, which hardly ever does anymore, back in the day, we get full cans of soda, and that was like, oh my God, I got a can of soda and a chocolate bar.
I used to get the popcorn balls. Did you guys
Oh,
ever get the popcorn
I
balls?
yeah, a couple times, which I'm like, I like popcorn, not as much as chocolate, especially in Halloween. You want candy, but popcorn balls are okay. But yeah, you ever get the little bag of change?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Quite a bit. Quite a bit. Man, you guys get a lot of trick-or-treaters?
The first year I was here was probably the best because I've been in my house. I think it's going on 5 years now, and there was like 100 and I bought a bunch of candy bars. And there was like 125 kids or something like that came. Then it was down. Then it was back up a little, and I think like 98 was 2 years ago, and then last year wasn't that much. I actually had a lot left over. I think I was somewhere around 70 kids because Pottsville's kind of a big city. It's not like Philly or nothing like that, but I'm near the high school, so it's like a nice area. So everyone's like, "Oh, you gotta go near." Like even when I was a kid, you gotta go near high school because that's where the good candy is, and it's a nice area, so the kids feel safe and all that. So keep the tradition alive, giving out full size candy bars. So I have enough to give out, but there's 32 in a case, so 68, and then I did buy a cheap it's like a strawberry candy thing. So I think I have enough for 100 kids. So because last
Wow.
year we didn't get it, so if we do, then it's the old turn off the light, or I'll start handing out beef jerky or something. Here you go, kid.
I don't, we got wrestling to talk about, but we may as well end it. I mean, it's all the Andy Header doing the
Yeah,
Lord's work, folks.
yeah.
Now, I'm almost positive we have had this conversation in private before, but your Halloween is October 31st, right? Like on the calendar. No, it doesn't matter if it's a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Usually, here in Pottsville, they do whenever Halloween is, if it's Tuesday or Thursday, whatever, it's trick or treat that night. This year, they're moving it to the 30th only because the 31st is a Friday night, so they're kind of thinking that it's gonna high school football is gonna be involved, which I don't really think it is because most of the kids going to a high school football game probably aren't gonna trick or treat. Maybe they would give out. It's more for little kids, so they're trying to avoid that. So like a lot of the local areas are moving trick or treat to Friday or whatever it's Thursday, which is the 30th. So it's the 30th this year, but still it's still cool.
Yeah, I mean, where what the first 30 years of my life where I lived on in the Old Fort Scranton area, Halloween didn't matter. It was always October 31st. And then moving up to where I'm at now, they do it on the random Saturday. So I think
Really?
it might actually be this Saturday. And
Wow.
I never, in my wife's lived here, 41 years her entire life. And it's like, Amber always says, no, it's always been on like the Saturday before. I'm like, that's just really weird because Halloween was
That
always
is.
October 31st. It always just
Hmm.
blew my mind. Blew my mind. Andy Header, before we get into talk about some wrestling, we have some negative stuff to talk. Obviously, I don't want to take obviously Andy Header doing it for the kids. Didn't get a chance to talk about this in the Marigold Standard of the Stardom Cast. I figured this is the opportune time to talk about. We had three deaths this past week in the world of certain things that we like to talk about and that we
Hmm.
cover. First death I want to talk about is probably, I know you don't watch the MMA as much as I do. Duke Rufus, the founder of Rufus Sports over there, I believe in the Wisconsin area, I think like around Milwaukee, passed away, age 55. He was one of the greatest trainers of modern day MMA. Trained Showtime Anthony Pettis, former UFC champion, and
Okay.
obviously he was a trainer of somebody that most of our listeners know when one CM Punk had his venture in
Oh
MMA. He
wow.
trained CM Punk, so Duke Rufus, again, legendary trainer. Again, the one of the top gyms, MMA gyms in all of the land over that Rufus sport. Passed away at 55. So,
Wow.
and again, no cause of death was revealed, at least last I saw. So that really struck me. I was like, well, he's somebody you
Yeah.
always see in the corner. He always had top fighters in the UFC and PFL. And over in Japan and in Thailand and whatnot. And again, obviously, from what you and our listeners will know, he was the one that trained CM Punk for
Mm.
his CM Punk spent a better part of 2 years over there for his MMA debut. So
Yeah.
obviously, really sad. Again, somebody that definitely left a fingerprint in the world of mixed martial arts. Andy Header, this has been a tough year for rock and roll legends. Obviously,
Yes.
July we lost the guy's music that changed my life forever, one Ozzy Osbourne. But this past week, Ace Frehley of Kiss
Yeah.
had passed away. I believe that he fell and he hit his head, and I guess he had complications from that. Passing away, I think at like 76 years old. And
Yes, I
Ace
would say
had
76, 78, maybe. I forget someone around there.
Yeah, the lead guitar player of Kiss. So it's just like, again, Kiss. I like Kiss. I know Kiss is a huge following even to this day. Obviously, their heyday was in the 70s and 80s, but I mean, Kiss is just such iconic and ace.
Hmm.
Like the stage shows were amazing. Like the music was pretty good, but it was all about the presentation and the
Yeah,
wild stage shows they had. And he would always play the guitar, and the smoke bombs would come out, which I was
yeah,
like, the degree of
that's cool.
difficulty
Like,
doing that.
yeah.
And yeah, the degree of, and he was I believe he was the space cat, right? Or he was the spaceman.
No, he's the one that has, yeah, and he has like the like silver. It's almost like demolition-esque, right? That's Ace because Peter Chris was the cat, and then or was Ace the, yeah, Ace is the star, and then the red
Yeah,
lipstick, right? Yes, yeah, yeah. I'm thinking there. Yes. So yeah.
yeah. And then again, for him to be able to play guitar with the smoke bomb coming out of his guitar in
Hmm.
all that makeup in that costume, the degree of difficulty is just insane. But man, it's just been just a rough year for us, of rock and roll heavy metalheads again, losing
I
Ozzy
know. Yeah.
and now Ace Freeze. And obviously, I know you're more of a metal guy, as we just talked about. Obviously,
Hmm.
the Megadeth, the Anthrax. But where do you stand on Kiss? You a fan of the
Kiss.
Kiss?
Yeah, I'm a fan, but I'm not a huge fan. Like I follow him on Spotify, listen to stuff like Strutter's a good song. There's a couple like everyone's heard Detroit Rock City and I Want to Rock and Roll All Night. So that's like the two that are like I hear them all the time overplayed. But I do have a couple of deep cuts that I like. I have I made a little Kiss playlist on Spotify, but like I've never seen them. I don't really buy the merchandise. I remember the Todd McFarlane Kiss figures. Remember those? They were awesome. I would get those if I got a deal. But yeah, I'm not huge into Kiss. They're cool, but like they're not. They wouldn't be in my top 10 even of favorite bands.
I've seen them live twice, and just what a great stage show. Big fan of I Love It Loud. That's and maybe it's
Mhm.
because Dr. Death Steve Williams in Japan would
Yeah,
come out for
yeah.
that. Dun 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 dun. But if I don't, did you ever get a chance? The movie came out in the late '90s. Did you ever see the movie Detroit Rock City?
Yeah, yeah, where the
Oh,
kids are trying to get Kiss tickets. Yeah, that's pretty good.
great movie. Even like when I watched that when I was dating Lily's mom, and she does not like Kiss at all. And it was just like we went to the Blockbuster. You remember
Oh
those?
wow.
The
Yeah, yeah.
Blockbuster. And I was like, we'll get this. And she's like, oh, all right. And she was all into it. Like, doesn't like Kiss, doesn't, but
Wow.
like, it was just a great. And I always tell people, if you like Kiss, you'll love this movie. If you love
Yes.
Kiss, it'll be one of your favorite movies. Even if you just like a good, fun movie, this is a really good, fun movie.
Hmm.
So, maybe I haven't seen that movie in got to be about 20 years, but maybe I'll go back and revisit it. So, yeah, rest in peace to the spaceman, one Ace Frehley. Andy Header, the last passing we had was Mo from Men
Yeah, and
on
on
a
mission.
Mission. Men on a Mission was a really fun tag team in the early 90s back of the WWF days. Obviously, then Mabel and Mo turned on Oscar because Men on a Mission
Yeah.
was Mabel, Oscar, Mo,
Mom,
MOM,
get it?
Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of different inside things there. But then they turned heel. And, when Mabel won King of the Ring in 95, he was a very ominous presence. Like, oh my God,
Hmm.
how is he? And nobody's going to be able to beat him. And he was Mabel was an okay talker, but it really was Mo that was Sir Mo, I believe he was called,
Yeah, Sermo, yes.
that really did the presentation package for King Mabel. So I think he was another one in his late 50s. Like I think it was only 58 when he passed. So
Yeah, which
really
not that
sad to see.
old.
Yeah, really
Not,
sad to see, buddy.
yeah, yeah. I seen that. I was like, wow, he wasn't that old. And I remember him in a mission because I was a kid watching WWF at the time, and they came out in their purple and yellow. And remember, whoop, there it is, the tag team hit of like what 91, 92, which they took the wrestling and why not, And they ran with it, and they had a tag title run. And well, Mabel obviously was around a lot longer than Mo, but still, it's someone that like you say Men on a Mission, I'm like, oh yeah, I know who you mean. So yeah, it's sad to see him go. And I did hear that if it's not out already, maybe the Major Brothers gonna have like a Men on a Mission double pack that is coming out there or that is out. I'm like, that's pretty cool. So if you do like Mo, you can get that.
Yeah, and more than likely that'll proceeds will go to take care of his family. So
Yeah,
again, man, we're just a rough week again. The MMA, rock and roll, and professional
yeah,
wrestling. So, but again, those are three people that definitely left their imprint on their profession. Andy Header, the main crux of this episode, we're going to be talking about the Korakuen Hall, or the Tokyo Joshi Pro Show from Korakuen Hall on the 18th of October. Before we get
hmm
into that, obviously, we're going to go around the horn talking about all the other stuff in professional wrestling. And I always say people love hearing you talk about Stardom. I know you watch a certain match from a certain anniversary show.
hmm
So let's talk about the Starlight Kid 10th anniversary show. Obviously, myself and Rob wouldn't do a full review of that great and fun show. But I know the semi-main event is one that you definitely want to talk
Yes.
about.
And first, I want to say that It is free on YouTube, the whole show, because there was problems with streaming. Apparently, there was a worldwide like internet outage, and it just so happened exactly at the time Starlight Kid show was going on. So Stardom, as a make good, put it out free on their YouTube. So just go to Stardom's YouTube. That's okay. It's like it's probably the newest video, but as you hear this, it'll be the second or third probably. But anyway, it's up there and it's free. There is some audio issues for like the first because of the internet, like half hour to hour. But then once it gets going, it is really good. But there is a certain tag match that you should go out of your way to watch. The main event was cool. It was fun. Starlight Kid took a beating. Didn't even win on her own show. Like that, there's a good booker for you. And not only did she take the L, but she took several moves before that. So good on Starlight Kid. But yeah, the tag match, which I seen at first, and I was being a dum dum. I thought it was a 6-man tag, and I
I
was
was
like,
the same way. I
really?
was
Because
the
I'm
same
like,
way. I mentioned this on 2 episodes ago of the Stardcast, not to cut you off, but obviously when this Joshi new drops, it's early in the morning for me. So I was at the gym and my phone kept going off and I was like, what's going on? And I looked, I was getting stuff tagged in Twitter and I looked at I thought it was a 6-person tag. I thought it was Soripoi and Miku Wada
yeah,
versus
me
Chiro
too.
Hashimoto, Konami, and Ruaka. See, you're
Yeah,
not the only one,
I
buddy.
was like that. I don't understand the teams, but okay. It was weird putting Chihiro face with the two heels and then splitting up the two Sender girls. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm in. But then when they came out, I didn't notice until Miko and then Chihiro stand in the one corner. I'm like, oh, it's a three-way match. And I was like, duh. But yeah, this match was really, really good. And if one thing comes out of this match that everyone's gonna want, it is a singles match between Miko Wada and Sayori Ano. Just when they got in there and they just started looking at each other, I was like, oh boy, it's on. And they were throwing some bombs there. It'll also take a tag team match between Red Energy and Sayori Poi. That is another one will take. But yeah, this match was really good. So if you got to watch your way to watch one match from the SLK show, let it be the main event of the three-way tag team match and not a 6-man tag between Ruaka and Konami, Miku Ano, Miku Iwata, and Chihiro Hashimoto, and Sayori Poi, Natsupoi, and Sayori Ano, because it is really, really good. I don't know, I might give like 4.5 stars. It was really, really good. And that's Sayori and Miku, like them two alone. Like, this is good.
Yeah, I gave it 4.5 stars myself, and actually Soriano and Miko Wada they at Dream Queendom last year they had supposedly their last singles match ever because they wrestled each other like 4 times last year. But that chemistry
Who
always goes.
cares? Yeah,
They traded the Wonder Belt back and forth back in the summer and early fall of
that's
last
right.
year, and then they had their somewhat blow off at Dream Queendom last year. That then you throw that on to the same card as Starlight Kid versus Natsupoi, Tam versus Sai Kamatani, the hardcore match with
Mm.
Micah and Natsukatori,
Oh yeah.
Wingori versus Hate XL, Tekla Miu Watanabe. Dream Queendom last year was just one of the best wrestling shows in all of wrestling all of last
Hmm.
year. But yeah, that match was really, really good. I know Rob was saying that he wanted to see Mika Wada versus Natsupoi. That was his take coming out of it. Mine
Oh.
was Mika Wada and Konami. So it really seems like
Nice.
Miko Wada. Everybody wants to see more Miko
Yeah.
Wada. So which we'll talk about at the end of the episode because it's what we'll be covering on Talk Joshi episode 21. We love to have some fun. I guess that's what I'm
There we
going to name
go.
it. Really great show. Did you watch anything else from Stardom that you want to talk about, buddy? I know there was 2 other house shows that were Stardom. They were really solid stuff. Is there anything
Yeah.
else on the Stardom horn before we go to
I
AEW?
nothing really. I did. What did I see? Something where what was it? Was that on the Starlight Kid show where somebody was inappropriately touching one Miyu Amasaki, and I was like, oh boy, what does that go through? But yeah, nothing really there. I didn't see the house shows at all. Sometimes I kind of take a break from the Stardom shows if I'm watching other ones. Not that, but I watch the big ones. But the small ones, I'm like, I can probably skip that, and then unless you say, hey, you gotta watch this, and I'll watch it, like Hazuki and Kagama.
There was actually on the CMLL show, the main event was Persephone versus Mercedes Monet. From what I understand and what's
I
being
heard that's
reported,
really good.
really good. Yeah, really good. Hazuki and Kagama, and Kanji, they wrestled 3 like legends of Lucha Libre. The match was okay, but like Hazuki was crazy over. Like Hazuki got the win, and people in the crowd were high fiving and hugging each
Wow.
other. Like that was like a major sporting event. From what was reported, I didn't do a deep dive in it just yet, but from what was being reported on the Wrestling Observer, because it was a woman's only show from
Oh,
CMLL, is
wow.
again headlined by Mercedes Monet and Persephone, is this show sold more tickets, like actual paid tickets, than WWE Evolution with Io
Wow.
and Rhea on top, which
Really?
goes to show you what a massive star Mercedes Monet is.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Wow.
That's incredible. But if you haven't seen it, definitely go out of your way to check out at least the main event with Mercedes and Persephone. It was really, really good. Stardom announced earlier today that there is a working relationship with Stardom and CMLL. So maybe we'll be seeing some of the wrestlers from obviously again FWC is over there. Maybe we'll be seeing some more of the Lucha wrestlers come over to Stardom. So that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool. And here we're gonna get into some AEW talk. I know you only saw some clips of Wrestle Dream, 4 women's matches, including the pre-show. So we
Yeah. The
had,
most, I believe, on any AEW pay-per-view so far, right?
yeah,
For
yeah, and
women's
that
matches. Yeah.
for women's matches, that
Yeah.
has opened up the door for a lot of talk for an all women's pay per view.
Why not?
Hopefully, sometime soon. Hopefully, they ring the Stardom bell, and it's just like, hey, we need to bring some Stardom talent and some CML. I would love to see a Forbidden Door all women show
Yeah.
with the wrestlers from AEW, Stardom, and CMLL. Why not? The demand is there, the relationship is there. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen on the East Coast, so
Yeah.
we can go watch it.
It'd
We
be
can go and
awesome.
cover it. That would be terrific. But the pre-show, Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron, who are really gelling well as a team, taking on Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. Megan Bayne
Mm-hmm.
coming out as Poison Ivy, Penelope
Yep.
Ford coming up as Harley Quinn, very much because AW has this crossover with DC, which we did see at New York Comic Con a few weeks ago. This was a really, really solid match. Obviously, it is Willow Nightingale getting the pin with the Dr. Bomb, the Bay with the bomb over Penelope Ford. This was free on 0 Hour. A really, really solid match. Again, I know you didn't get to see, so I'm just kind of just
Yeah.
go over
Go ahead.
some of the highlights. Again, as much as Harley and Willow are gelling as a tag team, Penelope and Megan Bayne are absolutely crushing it as a tag team. They can literally take that tag team that they have right now and put them in current day Stardom, and they can hang with the Wingories, with the Soy Boys. Obviously, Megan Bayne spent quite a bit of time in
Yeah.
Stardom, and myself and Rob got to meet her at WrestleCon this past year in Vegas. We probably spent like 20 minutes talking to her just about her time in Stardom. She kept saying, "Guys,
Wow.
I'm so sorry that I'm taking up your time talking about." I'm like, "No, no, no,
No
no, no.
problem. Yeah.
We came to talk to you." And she just glowing terms about how she wants to go back to Stardom, but she's
Wow.
been on TV more and more and more. So
Yeah.
obviously she has to go through the proper AEW channel. So I would love to see Megan and Penelope in Stardom, because Penelope is she's on fire. She's really, really being able to show what she can do in that loaded AEW women's division. And her and Megan Bayne just really work perfectly
Mm-hmm.
as a tag team. So again, we're going to be talking about the tag division and basically be the end segment to wrap this up. Then we go to the actual pay-per-view. Tekla and Jamie Hayter. From what I understand, the first women's match on an AEW pay-per-view that didn't have a stipulation or a
Or
title.
belt. Ain't that something? Wow.
And this was great. And I thought Tekla was going to get the win, but it was Jamie Hayter with like the two short clotheslines, the Haterade. Really great match. And Excalibur did a great job talking about Jamie Hayter and Tekla's time in Stardom, like how they were both
Mm.
in Stardom at different times. They were both former Goddess of Stardom champions. So I really enjoyed that. I thought that was really, really cool. Tekla's just fitting in really well.
Yeah, I think like out of everyone that's come over, she fits in perfectly, and she like everyone's saying like Kelly brought up to my attention, and then like the other people saying too, she really has like a strong like a Luna Vachon like vibes going on. I mean, she's still Tekla and she's still great, and like her look, she looks great, and she just slotted in. They gave her a stable even. I mean, she's the best member of her stable, but like yeah, she's really fitting AEW well.
Yeah, she's doing great, and great to see Jamie Hayter back, because she was off for about a year. Then she was kind of off on, then
Yeah.
injured, and then part with the visa. Obviously, she seems like she's back full time because they have a lot in store for her. So it's great seeing Jamie Hayter back again. Great, great
Mhm.
match with Tekla. Then we go to your girl, Tony Storm and Chris
Mhm.
Statlander. Wowzers, this was all sorts of great. Also, the one thing about this pay-per-view, there's a lot of notable F-bombs
Yeah.
on this show. A lot, and Tony Storm said a lot of them. I kind of figured with Statlander just winning the belt, they wouldn't flip it back to Tony just
Yeah.
yet. And I thought this is a good way, because Tony and Mercedes are clearly the top two stars in the women's division. Like
Yes.
literally point, like you don't know who number 3 is. So it's like, okay, Statlander wins. She gets a significant win over here, Tony Storm. This was great. Chris Statlander is absolutely crushing it over the last year or so. Really having great match.
Mhm.
Great. She had those 2 great matches with Mercedes. Was
With
doing great
Willow.
stuff. Willow, great stuff with Willow. Great stuff with Mega Bane. This was just another great match, and it's really cool seeing Tony Storm on the challenger role, which
Yeah.
makes it for a different match, a different psychology. I love the finish, how Statlander hits. I don't know what she calls it. It's basically her version of like kind of the bastard driver. The
Yeah.
and then it's like a one-legged reverse tombstone. So she hits it, and then she puts Tony Storm in the middle of the ring into a choke, basically a head scissors choke. And then Tony Storm won't tap out, and she basically just says, "Hey, if you want to beat me, you got to bleep and kill me." And then Statlander's like, "Okay," picked her up, dropped her on
Yeah.
her head again. Clean win, clean in the
Hmm.
middle of the ring. 4.25 stars for me. This
Wow.
was fantastic. This was great.
Yeah, I have to watch. I only seen some clips because one thing Tony does do, I think it's her personal Instagram. She breaks down like the match, but it's in like little clips, and for the most part, like the big spots in the match. So I was able to watch some of that, but like you can only watch what 30 seconds, so it's not like 30 seconds. You swipe left, watch another 30 seconds. So I think it's actually Tony Storm. It's like Tony's on fire or something like that. I forget what it is. But so yeah, I did get to see a little bit of it, but I didn't get to see it as a full whole match. But I really want to, and I didn't think Tony was gonna win because I think there's something else up for Tony down the road here. But yeah, and Chris Statlander, she's been looking great, and now her and Mercedes, it looks like they're going to clash soon. So will Mercedes get a 13th belt? Who knows?
Full gear. It's already announced, my
Oh, what?
man.
Yeah,
Full gear. Yes, yes, yes. So and then it's in Newark, so not that far away from
yeah,
us, my
no.
friend. So yeah, that's already announced. Obviously, they had two great matches last year. So
Hmm.
my guess is Statlander gets her win back on Mercedes. And I like, and if this is the story they're telling, that Mercedes collecting all these belts but can't win the
Yeah,
AEW Women's,
the big one. Yeah.
that's a great story. And again, if this is what they're doing with Chris Statlander getting clean wins over the two biggest women stars, now you have elevated her
Hmm.
to that level. It's pretty much right there with Mercedes and Tony. So you're basically using Mercedes and Tony to create your next star into the division to help draw more money. So I like that. Simple booking makes sense, and a great job on Tony and Mercedes if this is what they're doing, which I think they are, helping them make another star. So
Hmm.
ultimately, what just makes AEW better. Andy Header, I saved the best for last because one, it's how the match card went, and two, this was probably my second favorite match of the show. I think the Young Bucks versus Jurassic Express was probably number one.
Mm.
The Bandito and the Brodito, Bandito and Brody King versus
Takeshita Okada.
and
Yeah.
Okada. That was right there as well. But like Mercedes, she made mention. I think it was Friday. It was right after she defeated Persephone that I have an open challenge for any champion
Hmm.
for my belt versus your belt. So everybody's thinking Athena. Everybody's thinking Shuri.
Hmm.
Where is this going to go? Who is it going to be? Is it going to be Sayakama? You had all the rumors. And it was really weird that Shuri was not the Stardom shows this past weekend. So you're
Yeah.
like, is it Shuri? I'm like, I want to see that. But then who wins? Is it a double knockout? I'm like, I don't know. Is it Hazuki? Because Hazuki is Spark Joshi champion,
Yeah.
CMLL Japan Women's champion. And Hazuki was on the same show as Mercedes, so she could have easily got on the same plane with her. So
Yeah.
is it Hazuki? So like, where are we going? So it's like, who's it going to be? And then Mina Shirakawa's music hits, and I was like, Mina's not I'm like, oh, that's right, she's the interim TV
Yeah.
champion.
You can't forget about the ROH Women's TV title, but it is
So
what it is.
I was like, this match is going, and I didn't know who was going to win. And it got to a point where I was like, I think Mina's going to win because there were so many falsies, so many cheap things that Mercedes was doing that she kept getting caught putting her foot on the ropes. There's this one spot where Mina's just going after Mercedes' knee. She puts her in the figure four, and Mercedes got out twice before, but then she takes Mercedes' arm and is choking Mercedes with her own arm. Like, that's got to be the
Oh,
finish.
nice.
There were so many great finishes where the finish was just terrific, where it was then Mercedes hits the moneymaker. Mina gets her hand on the rope. People couldn't believe it. Like, now the momentum goes back to Mina. Mina hits the
Hmm.
Hurricane, the Mina driver. Like, it was so many great Stardom style, big style finishes where it's like you didn't know which way it was going to go. Ultimately, Mercedes pokes Mina in the eye, rolls her up, puts her feet on the
Oh.
rope, but does not get caught this time. They had the match at the Tokyo Dome, and then they had the match a few months ago. Their matches constantly get better. They're constantly getting better. I thought this was great. It was a must-see match. Yeah, 4.5 stars for me, my friend. Definitely, when you get a chance, definitely seek
I have to
this
watch that
match
too.
out. Really good match. And then the main event, which obviously has nothing to do with Talk Joshi, with
Mm.
Moxley and Darby Allin, it was
Yeah,
wild.
yeah, pretty crazy. I seen the highlights of that. Obviously, the fish tank that everyone's saying that, and the skewers underneath the fingernails, which that goes through you. Like, I don't want to think about that.
Yeah, it was like, oh, this was a little much. I once all the Death Riders came in, and I was like, they gotta do Sting, and I love it how Sting comes
Yeah,
in to help Darby out every now and again, and then you just never see him. Like, it's a
yeah,
really cool spot from, and I like how he didn't, like, he still got the old beard and the hair. It's like, and I think he's got to be in his late 50s, early 60s, probably
Yeah,
early
I
60s.
think he's like 62, somewhere around there, 63 maybe.
And it's just like, nope, this is who I am. I just love it. He comes in, he beats up all the Death Riders, throws Darby the bat, and then he pieces
Yeah, and
out. So
then he leaves.
it's really really cool. And I've seen a lot of things in wrestling. You've seen a lot of things in wrestling, but to finish the match with like a pool of water in the middle of
Yeah,
the ring with glass, I was like, oh, that's different. That's
yeah,
different. All around a great show. It's tough for me to watch these AEW shows from start to finish, these pay-per-views, because sometimes they'll put them on when I have something else going on, or sometimes they're just on just too late. Like
yeah. They go
this one
like
got over
12:30.
yeah, this one got over a little bit like midnight, but I was able to watch this one start to finish. It was great. It's AEW. It's they're great wrestling. That's basically what it
Hmm.
is. Their storylines are pretty good. They're known for their wrestling, where WWE has really great storylines and some decent wrestling.
Yeah, some
So,
so-so wrestling. Yeah.
but Andy had let's wrap up this AEW segment that they did announce the tag team tournament. Now we'll get the one negative thing out of the way. No Stardom participation.
I was a little surprised. I thought there'd be more teams. I thought the brackets would be bigger, and I definitely thought FWC was in it. Maybe stretch out and then get Saori Boy in there. But yeah, I was I was a little bit shocked that no FWC in here, especially when they said they want to go global, they want to go all over and win titles over. Perfect opportunity. Tony Khan obviously likes the book, foreign talent, Japanese talent, Mexican talent. There's no CML team in this either. So I was like a little surprised. And what it's a what 8 team tournament or does it?
Eight,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, which is
18
my I'm
tournament.
like that's a little small. I think you could have branched that out. So yeah, that was a little surprising. So yeah, no FWC unfortunately in this tournament.
I thought we might have got FWC. I thought there might have been a glimmer of hope we got a Sherry and a Sheeta team.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that would have been nice.
that would have been because obviously they teased Sherry back in the summer like she's coming to do some stuff in the States and had a vignette on a Ring of Honor, Super Card of Honor, and then really didn't do anything. Maybe Suri, because again we saw her
Hmm.
over, so defending against Alex Windsor. So that was really weird. But regardless, these tag teams, these brackets look really, really good. I think we know who's going to win. I mean, I think we made
Yes.
mention like 2 months ago that they're probably going to team Tony and Mina up, and they did
Yeah.
a promo backstage, which I'm sure you saw, where Tony's like, Mina, we don't have anything anymore. You
Yeah.
lost your belt. I lost
We
my belt. We
lost
don't have
everything.
anything. We lost everything. And I'm like, oh, it's clearly where it's standing.
Hmm.
Clearly where it's going is they're going to win the tag tournament. But I'm going to kind of just go. I'm going to go over the brackets. I'm going to get your prediction of who you think's to win each match and what you think the final is going to be. So
Okay.
over on the left side of the bracket, we have Queen Aminata and Jamie Hayter, and they were great in that 4-way tag on the whole 4-way tag that they did
Yeah. Last
on
night.
AW was great. But Queen Aminata and Jamie Hayter, they are taking on the Sisters of Sin of Julia Hart and Sky Blue. Obviously, Queen Aminata and Jamie Hayter, they won that 4-way that also included Willow Nightingale and Carly Cameron, and as well as Penelope Ford and Megan Bayne that we've been talking
Hmm.
about. So they get to call their shot on who they want to wrestle in the first round. And Jamie Hayter says, Sisters of Sin, you're pain in our ass. We want you in the first round. That usually doesn't go well, Andy Hayter. But Jamie Hayter and Queen Aminata taking on the Sisters of Sin. Who do you think wins that?
I'm gonna say that Jamie Hayter and Queen win that one. Nothing against the Julia Hart and Sky Blue, but I don't think they're going. They're gonna advance in this tournament.
No, I think so too. I think Aminata and Hayter, because the Sisters of Sin are constantly putting heat on them. I think that they get the win there, which will then set up the next match. So Andy had the winner. So you have Aminata and Hayter going to the next round. They
Okay.
would take on the winners of this next match. Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron. Not only
Hmm.
great as a team, but so damn entertaining. Taking on, I mean, you want to talk about a superpower team, the forever Ring of Honor champion, Athena, and 13 bell or 12 bell, whatever she
How
is,
many?
Mercedes Monet. So, who do you got winning that one?
I think I could see. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Athena turns on Mercedes and they set up a singles match, but I don't think that's where they're going. I think Mercedes and Athena win because I think they're going all the way to the finals to wrestle another team. I think everyone is going to get to the finals. So yeah, I kind of like that Harley and Willow have matching gear like they did last night. The pink and the blue, they look really good. But yeah, I don't see them getting out of the first round here.
No, and they kind of almost they set up not only Statlander and Mercedes during Mercedes celebration, which I love how everyone's like, "Oh my God, she's such a glory hound. She's doing her own celebration." Like you do
Yeah.
realize it's wrestling, and they set up Mini Monet making fun
Hmm.
of her, and then Chris Statlander putting it through a table with the cake. So it was all heel heat or not heel heat. It was all the heel showing her what they always say, showing her ass, basically
Yeah.
making it look like a fool twice. So and they kind of almost indirectly set up the her and Harley stuff, which I absolutely love. Harley Cameron, so damn entertaining. But Andy Header, I'm with you. My semifinal for that left side of the bracket is Aminata and Jamie Hayter taking on Mercedes Moné and Athena. What a great match if that's how it
Yeah.
comes out. Let's go to the right side of the bracket. You didn't say they had an international team. They kind of do. Alex Windsor representing England, teaming with Riho
Yep. Yeah.
representing Japan. I'm so looking forward to this match, taking on the team of, I guess, another international team of
Yeah.
Toni
Technically.
Storm and Mina Shirakawa. This is going to be a great match, but I think this might be the easiest one for us to predict.
Yeah, if you're gonna say one team that's gonna win this whole thing, it's probably the newly crowned timeless love bomb, as Mina said last night in her promo. Tony and Mina are gonna win this match here. Sorry for Riho and Alex Windsor, but yeah, they ain't getting out of the first round because Tony and Mina are gonna win this one.
Yeah, and then you look at this last match, buddy. Again, another great match. Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford, like I said, just on an absolute tear. Another team on an absolute tear. TJ, Ty
Hmm.
Conti, and Anna Jay. How do you see this one shaking out?
This one's probably the toughest one to call. So, because I can see either one probably needs it, but it seems that they're a little more behind Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. So I'm going to go with them, especially because they're Poison Ivy and Harley Gear. And right now, with the partnership with DC, with the comic coming out and DC sponsoring the next pay-per-view, they're probably going to want to push somebody that wears DC themed stuff. So yeah, Melanie, Penelope, and Megan are going to win this one.
Yeah, I agree. So that's going to set up Tony and Mina taking on Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. I think we're probably going to have the same bracket throughout the entire thing. Let's go
Yeah.
back to the left side of the bracket. Semifinals. Queen Amanat and Jamie Hayter taking on Mercedes Monet and Athena. Again, any way you really shake these up, they're going to be great matches. But I mean, Queen Amanat, phenomenal. I believe she was trained a little bit by Chigusa Nageo. Jamie Hayter, again,
Wow.
former Goddess of Stardom champion
Yeah.
over in Stardom. Mercedes Monet on an absolute tear on another level, as well as Athena. So Amanat and Hayter versus Monet and Athena. Andy Header, who goes to the finals?
Yeah, I think it would be a great match, but Athena and Mercedes are going to go to finals because it's going to make for a mirror, gripping, thrilling finals with who else I'm going to predict. So yeah, Mercedes and Athena.
Andy Header, what will, again, if this shakes out the way that we both think it's going to, Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa taking on Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. What a phenomenal match this is going to be. And really a big showcase for Penelope Ford. Obviously, Tony
Hmm.
Khan's been high on Mina Shirakawa even before she officially signed to AW, and Tony Storm is the biggest star in this division. I think this will be a great match, but I think you're going to agree with me that Tony and Mina go to the finals.
Yeah, I mean it'd be crazy if they if they didn't. I mean, but it is going to be a big match for Penelope and Megan, especially Tony and Mina are going to give them a lot, make them look real good, but they ain't going to win because Tony and Mina are going to the finals.
Indiana, that sets up I mean, it's an all-star
Hmm.
finals if this is the way it's going to go. Mercedes Monet and Athena taking on Tony Storm, or Mercedes Monet and Athena, excuse me, taking on Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa. I can see this going either way, but I think we said like once Tony dropped the championship, like that's really weird. I'm like, oh, you want your first champions to be big stars. No really two bigger stars, with the exception of Mercedes Monet in this division,
Hmm.
than Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa. I got Tony and Mina coming home with these belts. Let's say you.
Yeah, I agree. I think when they had the idea for the tag belts, I mean, say he had this idea for a while, but when it started rolling and said, "Hey, I'm gonna bring it up this time. Who should be my first tag team champions?" Why not the biggest, most over woman on the roster, if not your whole company, Tony Storm, and then put the second most over woman, Mercedes on their side. So yeah, this match is gonna be really good. And then they have the whole thing like, will Mercedes win yet another title, and Athena get
Ooh.
another title here? So you can play that. Like, will they get these? They want these titles so they can have all the belts, and then Mercedes or Tony and Mina win and are the first. And what better to put on your most over star and like and then Mina who's is really over too. So I mean, it's a great way to establish the women's tag styles and then give them a good run. So yeah, I'm all for it. Tony and Mina, your first AEW Women's Tag Team Champions.
And then Mina finally gets a major singles
Yeah,
title in the United States because she's challenged for the TBS so many times. She challenged for the big championship so many
ROH.
times. ROH, obviously, I know she's the interim championship TV, just interim, but she had that great match at the ECW arena for the
With
ROH
Athena.
women's title with Athena. So again, she's always so close So even when she was chasing Saya Kamatani for 6 months, she finally wins the belt and then drops it to Tam like 6 weeks later. It's like,
Yeah.
oh man. But this will be obviously a major thing for Mina Shirakawa. And I'm hoping they do the whole entire thing on TBS because I was just thinking, like, do they do the finals at Full Gear?
Yeah.
Mercedes in the finals, because she's gonna have Chris Statlander. I hope they do the whole thing on either Collision and because I think it'll get more eyes on it. It'll get more
Yeah.
eyes on it, throwing it on the YouTube channel and whatnot. So yeah, AEW is absolutely crushing it in all aspects, especially in the tag division.
Hmm.
Excuse me, the women's division, but now the women's tag division. Andy Header. Let's go to Korakuen Hall.
Yes.
Tokyo Joshi Pro. This was a solid show. Of course, I have some questions about some match that I'm like, I don't understand what's going on here. We need to talk about it. We need to talk about it. So we go to Korakuen Hall, additional attack. This was known for your 3 championship matches and then the level up series, which we're going to get into.
Hmm.
But this show took place on the 18th of October. We had a really great opener to start this show. And again, if I say these names wrong, buddy, cut me off, do your
All
thing.
right.
We start off with Mifu Ashida and Ren Kanatsu taking on Kiera Summer and Chika Nanas. Again, Kiera Summer, super impressed with her. This seems like she's somebody that's really cool. She got a great
Hmm.
aura. And then after her matches, she goes and does commentary. So she adds
Yeah.
that element as well. A solid match. Kiera Summer gets the win with the Samoan drop on Ren. 3.25 stars. I thought this was a solid match, but I thought they could have given it another 2 or 3 extra minutes.
Yeah, when I was watching, I felt like it was a little quick, but it was a very fine opener. I have no problems with it. I gave it 3 stars even. Kira does look good. I like her gear, and I was trying to figure out what her gear was. She has like a 03 on the back, and some of the way I'm like, is that Mandalorian themed? But I don't know. It could be because she seems pretty cool, so it might be Mandalorian themed, like Mando's armor. But yeah, this match was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It was a great, solid opener to what it was a very solid show here. So yeah, I give it 3.
Maybe we will ask Kira Summer. We'll try to say, hey,
There we
what we know
go.
to know what
Yeah.
we need to know what your gear is. Andy Header, we go to the Iron Man Heavy Metal title. I'm like, okay, this is your comedy match of said show as we
Hmm.
have our champion somehow winning the belt back after the
She beat
clipboard.
the clipboard. I don't know what they. I guess they had a thing on the maybe YouTube or something. But yes, the clipboard lost the title back to Mahiro.
Mahiro take it's so funny because when Mercedes mentioned that she had an open challenge, everyone's like Shiri, Hazuki. Then I'm like, maybe it's Mahiro. Maybe it's
Yeah.
I threw that jab in there. Can you imagine? Mihiro taking on Palm, taking on Suzumi, taking on Riku, taking on Kaya Torbina. Did I say that right?
I believe it's Torabami.
Torabami, yes. You had your comedy, but I tell you, because and again, this belt's supposed to be comedy. I get it, right?
Yes.
This actually turned into a pretty good match, and I think a lot of it had to do with Suzumi.
Hmm.
Suzumi's just a phenomenal, phenomenal wrestler. I liked how Palm put the turnbuckle on her back.
Yeah, and she couldn't be pinned.
You could not have been pinned. And everyone's like, how do we beat her? I'm like, well, you could have submitted her, right? Like, I don't know
Yeah.
why they didn't figure that out. Not what she should have done then is she should have cut a piece of the rope off and be like, this way I have a piece of the rope. So it breaks the
Yeah.
submission. Breaks the submission. But it is Mahiro pinning Palm. Again, you had your comedy, but Suzumi was really the that stirred this drink as far as like good wrestling goes. Like Raku, even like who's like supposed to be like asleep all the time, she had some
Hmm.
really great spots. Mahiro looked really good. Everybody looked really good. They threw the comedy in there. This was fun. I enjoyed this one. 3.25 stars.
Yeah, I'm right with you. I thought this was pretty good. I thought it was gonna be more wacky, more goofy, and they did say that this match it was during this match it was only one title defense. So whoever won this match won the title. You couldn't win it back and
Sudden
forth like
death.
how. Yeah, sudden death. Only one title, but after the match you could win if you wanted to. And Mahiro is now the 1,778th DDT or open weight whatever Iron Man Heavy Metal Champion. So I had to write that down. But yeah, the one thing I took away from this match was I've never seen Kaya Toribami before. She has a mask on. Her and Suzumi had a really nice exchange, and I'd like to see a singles match with them. I thought that was really good. But other than that, yeah, it was. There was a cool part too with a four person Russian leg sweep by Raku. That was pretty cool when she gets behind them all and she does the Russian, and they all do it. And the spot where Palm has the turnbuckle on and she's in the corner, and I forget who she's like doing the stink face to, and the ref's like, get out of the corner, and she goes, I am the corner. I was like, that was brilliant. So she didn't have to get out of the corner because she was the corner. So that was funny. There is the guy on commentary. I believe his name was I wrote it down, Mr. Raku, I
Mr.
believe,
Haku. I
Mr.
think it's like
Haku.
I think so
Yeah,
too.
like Haku, like Ming, like Tongan Death Grip. Yeah, he really helped out with a lot of the stuff, like the translation because he speaks Japanese and stuff like that, and a little bit of the backstory too. But yeah, this match was a lot of fun. I give it 3.25 too. And then Mahiro, she still has the title. So who will win it next? Who knows? What person or what thing or who knows?
CEO. That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah.
CEO, CEO, and
And
then
then
it's
and then she loses it to one of her other belts, so then one of her belts is the champion.
well, I was gonna say Mini Monet. It's the
Oh, that'd
puppet.
be even better.
Book it, book it. We go to match one of the level up trial, and I thought this was great because you had like a star, like a mainstay star in each match, and a wrestler that is young and upcoming that really leveled up, and that's the whole reason for this. Shino Suzuki taking on my personal Tokyo Joshi Pro favorite, Miyu Yamashita. This was really good, some really great hard hitting action, but at the end it was just too much. Miyu hits the return crush and the skull kick, flattening poor Shino. I thought this was a great way to start off the series. These three matches were really, really good. 3.5 stars for me, partner.
Yeah, this was really good. Even though this is probably, I don't know, mainly all the Miyu offense, quite like that other match we watched last time. It was still really good. The return crush looked awesome, and the skull kick, which I didn't know was called the skull kick, the spinning back kick, that looked brutal. 1, 2, 3. But yeah, Miyu looked really good here. Shino looked good, and it was a good solid match. I gave it 3.25. Didn't like it as much as you, but still very good match.
Yeah, excellent stuff, buddy. We go to the second match. I believe your personal favorite in Tokyo Joshi Pro, one
Mm-hmm.
Shoko Nakajima taking on Uda Takami. Am I saying that right?
Yes, Uda Takami.
Uda, and we've seen her a few times before in the shows that we've been reviewing. Great fundamentals, and you saw that in the beginning, and Shoko as well. Like these two fed off each other really well.
Mm-hmm.
But it was eventually Shoko basically outwitting Uda, basically using her experience, locking in the European clutch, getting the 3 count, 3.5 stars. As much as I like the first match, I like this one a little bit better. Shoko gave Uda quite a bit, and Uda ran with it. Everything that Uda did made sense. Shoko is just so fun to watch, so animated,
Mm-hmm.
a great wrestler, always giving to her opponents, and everything she does makes sense. There's no wasted motion in her. I'm totally with you, but I'm a massive fan of one Shoko Nakajima.
Yeah, she's really good too. And they did mention on commentary how she is like one of the smallest members of the rosters, which I never even noticed because she's such a good wrestler. I didn't know she's small, but no problem there. One thing I did like is when Shoko wrestles Uda for about 2 to 3 minutes with one arm behind her back, giving her arm drags and everything. And then commentary is like they're going on and on. They're like, wait a minute. Shoko is wrestling with one arm only, and she's doing really well. Yeah, Uda looks good here. She tried to do her koala clutch, which is like that Cobra clutch with the leg scissors that she jumps up on. She tried to keep getting to that, but eventually it was the couple back and forth pins and then the capture pin, the European clutch by Shoko Nakajima. 1, 2, 3. That's all she wrote. Yeah, I gave it 3.5 stars too. Really good.
And here we go to our final level up match, and we kind of see the debut. Maybe it's because it's Halloween. The dark side, Dark
Mm-hmm.
Mizuki. I was like, ooh, because usually she's always in all white, and then
Yeah,
she
our
comes out.
pinks.
Yeah, she comes out in all black here, which may give the answer away. I don't know if Andy had his
It
favorite
might.
gear. I don't know. I don't know.
might.
She's taking on Haru Kajashino. I think I'm saying that right. And again,
Or is
Haru's
it
another. Go ahead.
Kazushiro? I think it's Shiro. I could be
I,
wrong.
I think you might be right. I'm just
Oh,
going
yeah.
to call her Haru.
Yeah, there you go.
We've
There you go.
we've
Can't
seen
go wrong.
Haru wrestle before. Again, another one very much like Uda and Shino that I'm really impressed with. They gave this match some time. This was a very high speed style match.
Mm-hmm.
Really great offense back and forth. Haru looked really, really great. Ultimately, though, it is Mizuki hitting the release cutie special and then
Mm-hmm.
the stalling cutie special, getting the win. I rated every single one of these level up matches 3.5 stars, but this one was my favorite.
Yeah, I'm right with you. I give it 3.5 too, but this one was really good. I like when Mizuki comes out with a brand new gear and the darker hair. Commentary immediately notices like, "Whoa, she's wearing black gear." And then the other guy's like, "Is her hair darker?" And she's like, "Yeah, she did have lighter hair." But, and then this was all over Twitter too. You sent me a picture, and then it was when I went on Twitter, and now my Twitter's all just Joshi stuff, which I ain't complaining that in metal and comics. So everyone's posting, "Look at Mizuki's gear. Look how great she looks." So yeah, she does look really good here. And then someone said, if you're familiar with the Hello Kitty character Karomi, it's like a cat with it's like a dark gothic cat, and it has like a black hat with like kind of like triangle ears with little balls on it. But she did look a lot like Karomi. But anyway, back to the match here. I thought it was really good here. There's a second rope double stomp in the ropes by Mizuki that looked really good. Again, this was mainly all Mizuki offense. Haru did look good, but mainly all Mizuki. And then she hit she did the really nice. It was the Matrix bridge up that Trish Stratus used to do out of the running crossbody, and then the cutie special, like you say, the stalling, and then the release 1, 2, 3. That's all she wrote for Haru here. But yeah, Mizuki wins this match 3.5, and Mizuki's gear top notch. Oh
You know,
yeah,
Andy
and then
hit
you
him.
know one
Go
more
ahead, I'm
thing
sorry.
I forgot. I
Sure.
wrote down here. Did you hear what the commentary said about Mizuki and her tag partner? And I believe I got the name right of what their tag team name is.
No, sir. Please enlighten me.
No, so he said Mizuki because they're talking about her hair got darker, and then Kira goes, "Well, Yuka Sakazaki's hair recently got darker too," and they go, "And oh," he goes, "Yeah, they used to tag up, and they were the magical sugar rabbits." I'm like,
That I
"What?"
knew.
Yeah,
That I knew. I've heard them people telling me you need to see something with the magical sugar wraps.
yeah.
Folks, by folks I mean
Let us know,
Frohausen,
please.
give us some magical. Oh my god! If there's a match with magical sugar rabbits
Bop bop
versus,
bop banana.
oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh man, we need to. Yeah, we need some magical sugar rabbit. One that's
Yeah.
is that the best tag team name ever?
I want a shirt with that, with like a box of cereal and like magical sugar rabbits on the cereal, and then
Oh,
Mizuki and Yuka, because I love Yuka too, ever since I first seen her in AEW. But I heard that, I was like, what? So I didn't have time to look that up yet, but maybe we can find a match and review. But if anyone knows,
yeah.
please let us know.
Maybe one of these we'll do like a Talk Joshi bonus episode where we'll just review like 5 or 6 matches of the
Yeah.
magical. Oh man, there's like a Miyu Yamashita Maki Ito or a
Oh
free
my.
Wi-Fi or
Yeah.
Uber Eats or what's the other team that we really like? Endo and Suzumi.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I always get their name? Oh, Daisy Monkey. Daisy
Daisy
Monkey.
Monkey.
That's there's gotta be Matt. Oh man, I'm so
Yeah.
excited. Andy Header before AEW. I got my iPad because I knew there was they knew the Tokyo Joshi Pro show. So without any notes, I was like, I'm just gonna watch maybe 1 or 2 of the final matches. And I was a big fan of Alice Crawley. We'll get into
Mm-hmm.
that. So I watched the last 3 matches with no notes. I'm like, I'll go back and note them for the podcast. So I thought it was level up series and then these 3 matches. Then all of a sudden I realized there's another match. Yuki Arai, which I love,
Mm-hmm.
versus Hyper Masao, which I enjoy Hyper Masao. I'm like, oh, this will be the buffer between the level up series and these 3 championship matches that I've already seen that I really enjoyed. And then they announced it's like a quiz show, and
Yeah.
and I like how again it's your favorite wrestler in Tokyo Joshi Pro, Shoko Nakajima, and my favorite wrestler, Miyu Yamashita. They're basically the phone of friends.
Yes.
So I didn't understand this match. I just have that anytime there's a 2 count, you have to answer a question, and Yuki Arai wins because she knows that Hyper Masao's favorite sushi is salmon roll.
Yeah.
So I obviously didn't rate this. I thought that like these two are really good wrestlers. You couldn't have an actual match, but at the same time, I understand this is Tokyo Joshi Pro. We
Yeah.
do some
You got.
wild stuff in Tokyo
Yeah.
Joshi Pro.
You never seen a match like this before, but yeah, it seems that, and they were Hyper was cutting the promo in the beginning. I guess she challenged her to match and sets up the match and the rules of the match, which is if you get a 2 count, you can ask your opponent a question, and if you get that question right, a personal question, if you get that question right, you win the match. So that's how you win, but you have to get the 2 count, and you can phone a friend, which was Shoko Nakajima and Miyu Yamashita, and the when you phone them, even though they are right next to the ring on commentary, you still call them on the phone, which was a funny
That's the
spot. Yeah, I
gimmick. That's the
yeah.
gimmick.
So I didn't rate this either because I was like, it's a lot of start to stop. It's very heavy on comedy, but it was a fun match. And then, like you said, Yuki Arai does answer the question. I don't know. Maybe she went out for sushi, and I went out for sushi, and I really like salmon roll. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's right up there. So me and Hyper have that in common. But one thing I gotta say about this, and maybe it gives away, is Hyper Masala when she came out, and they go, look at Hyper Masala's hairdo, reminiscent of Tanahashi. I'm like, it is. Her hair was top notch here. And it's like she probably was like, you know what? I'm not gonna wrestle so much, so I'm gonna get one of them Tanahashi hairdos to come out too.
Maybe on the next Colossal Con, me and you will wrestle each
There
other
we
on, and
go.
we'll do. Yeah, we have to know each other's favorites. That'll take about 9 seconds.
Yeah.
Ozzy Osbourne,
All right, we're going to the back. See
that's
ya.
it. Stanley, that's it. Arnold. All right, Indiana. Now we get into again solid fun show. These last 3 matches were like
Hmm.
this is what again I love everything about pro wrestling. I get the comedy stuff. What I love about pro wrestling is pro wrestling, and this is
Hmm.
what we got. Andy Header, are you ready for what is going to be a recurring theme on Talk Joshi? Are you ready for it?
Ooh.
Here we
I'm
go.
ready.
So International Princess Championship, the new champion, Arisa Endo, making her first defense against Alice Crawley. Dun, dun, dun. What they've done in your head.
There we go.
Oh, Alice Crawley. Do you talk to the dead? Ozzy Osbourne
There we
will
go,
live
Mr.
forever.
Crawley.
Will live forever. Alice Crawley, phenomenal. I love her look. She was great in that match that we saw at Chijuku Face Review that we covered last time. She was great here, and I love it how when they did the contract signing on the show last week, Alice Crawley's like, "I'm so much taller than you." So the
Yeah.
bell rings, and Arisa Endo goes, "I'm really tall." And Alice like, "Oh yeah, you're tall. You're tall. You're tall."
Ooh.
And then Arisa Endo suckers her in to do a lockup, but she does a lockup running off the ropes. So now
Yeah.
Arisa Endo is taller than Alice Crawley. I thought that was great. This was a great match. Alice was so on point. She
Hmm.
fits in so well to the Joshi scene. I'm trying to find out more about her. My guess is obviously she speaks perfect English, so she's got it done the independence over here in the United States. I did reach out to her right after I watched this match, and I was like, "Come on our show. Come." I have
Yeah,
not heard back
please.
from her. I would love to. I have so many questions. I'm so impressed with her. She was great. And there's one spot, and again, we look at wrestling different because we're pro wrestlers, and I always say we're not saying that our way's better or it's worse. We just look at it different. There's the one spot where Alice power bombs Arisa Endo, and Endo goes over the top rope. And
Hmm.
that was, I don't think that was supposed to happen. And then
Yeah.
Al grabs her, but she does it in a kayfabe way. Like we're thinking she's grabbing her to make sure she's okay. But the kayfabe way is I just powerbomb you over the top rope. You're on the defensive. I'm bringing you back in the ring as soon as possible so I can pin you. And
Yeah,
that's the
to
way that
win.
she made it look. I'm like, oh my, I don't know how long this girl's wrestling, but she understands. Like she took that, which again, I don't think was, I could be wrong. I don't think that's how the spot was supposed to go, but she made it look even more. Even the
Hmm.
crowd was like, "Oh!" And then she brought her in. Was like,
Yeah.
"Oh!" She did this one spot where like Endo's beating her up, and she's got her on the apron, and Endo has her on the ropes, and then Endo comes off the ropes to get a full head of steam. By the time she turns around, Alice already rolled into the ring into the rolling code breaker. I thought it was great, really great stuff. There's some massive lariats that ring out
Hmm.
into this building that Alice Crowley's building up towards the end of this match. Ultimately, Arisa Endo, who's on the back foot for like 30-40% of this match. Like Alice Crowley whipped the crap out of the
Yeah.
champion. But Endo, being the underdog baby face heel, comes back with a pair of super kicks and that torture rack neck breaker for the 3 count. 4.25 stars. Absolutely love this match. Great. I'm a massive fan of Arisa Endo, and only the little bit I've seen of one Alice Crawley, I'm so impressed. I hope this run she has in Tokyo Joshi Pro, because we've seen it with Joshi, especially sometimes you get that 4-week run. Sometimes you get a 6, 7, 8 month run. I hope
Hmm.
she's in Tokyo Joshi Pro for months and months and months because there's so many matches I want to see her wrestle.
Yeah, she looks really good, and like not just physically, but in the ring, like her movement and everything. She doesn't look green at all. And like we just heard of her, what, the last show we watched that when she was on, we never even heard of her before. I mean, nothing against her, not just we just
Sure.
we need to
We're
know.
busy.
Yeah, yeah, we're busy guys. But yeah, she moves like there's nothing green. Like like sometimes on AEW or WE or there's a girl that comes on, like yeah, she's not
Happy
quite
feet.
there yet. Yeah, yeah, or just moves. They look a little lost or something. Jay Cargill. But Alistair has none of that. She looks like she's been wrestling for 5, 6, 7 years. Like she just moves like I'm watching like yeah, she's a normal wrestler. But yeah, so they should sign her, or another Joshi company should sign her. If not, I'm sure Tony Khan's probably got eyes on her. So I mean, it won't be long that she's unsigned. So she's got to sign somewhere. But yeah, she looked really great here. There was a combination she did at the one part here. Let me find it. Where this turnbuckle bomb, a running Larry, and then a little thing on my book, the Kryptonite Crunch. Didn't win though. Near fall. That was really nice. Arisa did a cool thing where she does a double jump springboard drop kick. That was awesome. And then the camel clutch. Alice powered out of a leg submission into a pin for near fall. That was really cool. And then at the end, Alice again, like you said, it was mainly all Alice. Release German, running clothesline for Alice. Near fall, nope, back up. Arisa hits the 2 super kicks, and then the TKO neckbreaker, whatever you want to call it. I'm sure she has a name for it. If you know the name, please let us know. 1, 2, 3. Arisu Endo wins. This match was really good. I'm right with you. 4.25 stars. I'll give one other match 4.25, and we'll get there. But yeah, this match was very good, and I hope Alice stays here or stays in Joshi at least before the states, inevitably gobble her up.
You got to think MLW is coming up big, TNA as
Yeah.
well. So even if she doesn't go to the big two, TNA is
Hmm.
doing a great job. MLW doing it, they're really coming up as well. So
Yeah.
regardless of where she goes because of how accessible professional wrestling is. And we're so lucky. Again, folks, we grew up in the
Yeah.
80s and 90s. Wasn't this easy? But we'll
No.
definitely be following where she goes because, wow, she is a presence. She's fantastic. Like, she knows who she is in the ring. You're right. We don't know how long she's been wrestling. Again, if anybody knows, we definitely got to do a deep dive, find some stuff out. That's why we want to have her on the show. But like you said, she looks like she's wrestling 5 or 6 years, not just wrestling 5 or 6 years, 5 or 6 years wrestling in top companies, top
Yeah.
independent companies. Like, she just seems like she's a next level wrestler. She has presence, she has aura, she's a great wrestler, high impact, and is able
Yeah.
to really bump in feed for the smaller wrestlers. Obviously, again, Alice is one of the taller ones and stronger ones in Tokyo Joshi Pro, but losing the way that she did to Arisa Endo didn't make her look weak at all.
No.
Again, Endo gets the win here, but we were so which, in my opinion, probably Alice Crowley is probably the second most impressive wrestler on the show. We will get into that because I think you'll agree who really came out of this show, even though looking at the lights, an ultimate winner. We'll get into that in a moment. Andy Header, semi-main event. We've noticed this on these shows that we've been covering from Tokyo Joshi Pro. They love to put their tag team title match on
Mm-hmm.
semi-main event. So they clearly put a lot of stock in their tag division. Again, obviously because of the tag names, Free
Yeah.
Wi-Fi, Daisy Monkey, and the Magical Sugar Rabbits. So again, we love us some tag team wrestling, the Joshi tag team wrestling, and women's tag team wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
as we talked about a little bit ago with AEW. Clearly setting the tone for everything going on in pro wrestling. And this match was fantastic. We have our champions of Yuka Kamafuki and Wanaka Uehara, also known as Uber Eats, with the new
Mm-hmm.
theme, taking on the challenge of Yuna Manas and Toga. Toga, every show that we reviewed is massively over. Like
Yeah.
I know she's not a Miyu or a Maki Ito or a Shoko. Like, she's not somebody that's positioned to be a top star. Not yet, because she is massively over. This was really great match. And what I loved about it is because Yuna and Togo really don't team up as much as Uber Eats, is that when it came down, when push came to shove, when the nitty gritty came down, it's a tag match. It was just the tag team work of
Mm-hmm.
Uber Eats that really did in this team. Toga eating the fall when Nake basically hits a version of the downward spiral, the Blade Run. I don't know if they had a name for it.
They did. The way I heard it, I could be wrong, is they called it the sushi roll, which I'm like, that's pretty cool because they are kind of roll. It's almost like I wrote down where she like locks in a cravat kind of. She's like choking her with her own arm and then drops straight back, and then the person like rotates out and then like almost takes a face bump. So it is kind of like a downward spiral, maybe DDT, like kind of like Bray Wyatt's move or Alexa Bliss's move. But with it's cool how it starts with that cravat, and if they did call it the sushi roll, then that's what they call it. But yeah, I thought it was really cool. I was like, I've never seen that before, that version of it before.
The sushi roll would make sense because what do you do to sushi? You eat it and you can order it. Over
Yes,
Eats.
overeats. There we go. Yeah.
Excellent match. I love this team of Uber Eats. Again, another really cool name. They work really well together. 4 stars for me. I thought this was a great V1 for the new champions.
I agree with everything you said here. I really like Wakana. And Yuki I like too, but Wakana, I gotta say, she I followed her on Twitter, followed her with the Talk Joshi page too, and she cosplayed as Yor Forger from Spy Family. So I was like, all right, that gets points in my book. Like Spy Family. But anyway, this match was very good. Overeats is a good tag team, and Toga and Yuna, like I guess they don't tag that much, but like I thought they worked really well as a team. Toga had some new gear here, looked pretty good, and I think Yuna Manase looks real good too. I'd never seen her before. Besides that other match we reviewed, that was the first time I seen her. Same with Toga. There was a lot of cool moves in here. Wakana and Yuki have a lot. They hit the one of
Flapjack.
the flapjack just like the midnight. So it's like the midnight stage. They hit that, which I like. I pop right there. The banana peel is the name of the submission by Wakanda too, which I was like, okay, they're all food things, so that's pretty cool. But it's a cool submission too. I don't even know how to describe it, but yeah, that's her
In catch wrestling,
submission.
they actually call that in Japanese catch wrestling, and I believe in Wigan catch wrestling, they call it the banana split. I know
Oh, okay,
when Brian Danielson went over to New Japan in the early 2000s, he was using that as a finish, which they called it the
really?
banana split.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't know
wow.
what it was until I started training catch, and I saw that it's used not much here in the States, but a lot in Wigan and a lot in the Japanese catch wrestling. So a little
Wow.
background move
There
there,
we go. Yeah, for the
background
banana peel.
on the banana. Yes, sir.
And then Yuki hits her top rope Fame-Master, and I like how the Fame-Master is just the Fame-Master in Japan, and Yuki does it because she's a model, so that's pretty cool. I like how commentary was saying how she gave up her modeling contract for wrestling, and she didn't even know, like, when she first was gonna start wrestling, they're like, hey, do you want to do this wrestling thing? Because she was all beat a model, and she was like, yeah, I'll try it. And now she switched genres, and now she's, now she's wrestling and then modeling things done. So anyway, near the end there, Toga gets the rock bottom, which the crowd really popped when she hit that rock bottom, and then a fallaway slam on Wakana, then a snap suplex by Wakana for another near fall, then finally Wakana gets her and then locked up, hits that sushi roll finishing move, which is really cool. 1, 2, 3. I really, really enjoyed this match. I really like Uber Eats, and I give it 4 stars even.
And ahead goes to our main event. Yuki Aino, also known from you, Strawberry Tam,
Strawberry
taking on
Tam.
our new champion, the ace of this company, Miu Watanabe. Clearly, they have plans for Yuki. Again, she's another one that's not like the core from Tokyo Joshi Pro over the last few years. But when you click on the thumbnail to watch this on Wrestle Universe, it's just her picture. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah, it's
like a
just
whole
her.
bunch. It's not her and Miyu where they put the 3 championship matches up on there. It's just her. I've seen a lot of wrestling, and I always say it doesn't matter what gets over. It doesn't matter what moves you do as long as it makes sense. It could be something really crazy and contrived, like a Ricochet Will Ospreay, or it could be
hmm
something as simple as like working a headlock takeover. Watch Steve Austin versus the Great Muta Spring Stampede.
Yeah,
As long as it makes sense. These two with the shoulder tackle got a
yeah.
shoulder tackle over, and they did so many different variations of the shoulder tackle. And Kiera Summer and Mr. Haku, who I believe were on commentary for this match, put over how they both love shoulder tackles. So they're
Yeah.
both going to try shoulder tackles. So you get the shoulder tackles in the beginning to start, which we've seen a lot. The Utami Micah matches in Stardom, even
hmm
Utami Miko Ano now, leading up to their match coming up at Grand Destiny this weekend, which I'm so excited for.
hmm
But then they did them on the apron, and I'm like, "Ooh, that's different."
Yeah.
And then they did them
The
outside on the floor.
outside.
And I've seen that before. I think Micah and Utami, right before Utami left to go to Marigold when Micah was champion, they did like a shoulder tackle off on the floor. I'm like, that's really cool. But then they did one where Yuki Ano hits a running shoulder tackle and sends Miyu Watanabe into the
Into the
third row.
chairs. Yeah.
I was like, way to put somebody over. But now they're building up these shoulder tackles. Now Yuki clearly has the advantage. So now she's shoulder tackling Miyu Watanabe almost throughout like the entire part of Korakuen. Like, because now like Miyu's trying to get away, but it's just like Yuki's like, I know I have this move that you were trying to beat me with, and I'm clearly have the advantage. And then she goes for one, and Miyu sidesteps her, picks her up like she's going to give her the teardrop, but then rams her into the post. I was
Yeah,
like,
the post.
that was so good. It's like Miyu Watanabe's like, okay, I have a strategy. In order for me to apply the strategy, I got to eat a couple more of these shoulder tackles, which I'm clearly getting my ass kicked. But in order for it to work, this is what I need to do. And that just goes to show you what a great champion that she is. It got Yuki over crazy
hmm
in that part. But some really great stuff. Ultimately, though, and obviously you'll fill in a little more of the blanks. Just some really great stuff towards the end. Yuki hits the Venus DDT. Obviously, Miyu kicks out. Great pop there. Eventually, it is the laser beam, which is the name of her
Yeah.
big palm
I
strike. I
wrote that
like
down.
that. The laser beam and the spinning teardrop that gets the win. Miyu, great V1. 4.25 stars for me. As great as Miyu was in this match, Yuki comes off this match and this show as the MVP of this entire show for me. I thought this was phenomenal. I thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyed this.
Yeah, this match was really good, and Yuki looked great here. And even when losing, she didn't look like, oh, she's dropped out or burial, as people say on the internet. No, no, it was a way to lose where you still look great. I mean, she still kept it to Miyu the whole time here. I like how the whole thing was kind of the battle of the shoulder tackles, like you said. They started off and then went through the whole match doing the shoulder tackles and stuff. And then I like that Yuki kept going for the Venus DDT too. There was a weird spot where they're up top and like she was trying to like I forget what Miyu was going for. Like maybe it was one of was when she carried her up. She
She was
picks her
going
up.
for a
She
top rope
yeah,
teardrop. Yeah.
yeah, which is crazy because she can like hold her, walk up, and she sits down, and then Yuki reverses and kind of hits the Venus DDT on the thing. Even commentary was like, "We think we gotta." She went for DDT there, so that was kind of a little wonky. I get what she was going for. Maybe she probably should have hopped off, but that was the only wonky part here in the whole match. There was another cool spot where she goes for the Canadian. That's where it is, the Canadian backbreaker, and then she climbs up for that. The reverse DDT, and then Yuki hits a gut wrench suplex right there for a near fall. That was really nice. And then I like when Miyu does they could just call it a power slam, but it's kind of like a front power slam where she picks her up, but then like turns to the front like a body slam, but like sits down with it. That's really cool how she does that. And again, Miyu has that thing where like she's real strong and she's always doing like power moves, which is it's pretty cool because you don't really see that too much in women's wrestling. It's like China and that was it. But now you got Miyu doing all the power moves here. Miu goes for the teardrop. Yuki reversed into a butterfly lock and then into the Venus DDT. That was a really cool transition. I had right down. I was like, that was cool. I also like how she does the camel clutch half Nelson, where it's like one of each, and Yuki locks that on. She kept going for that too. And I'm like, I don't think if I've ever seen it before. It's only from Yuki Aino and had nobody else. I wrote down shoulder tackle exchange. Miu wins, and then a near fall. When have you seen a near fall from a shoulder tackle exchange? Never before. But
And it
this
made
match,
sense though.
yeah,
And it
I was just
made
gonna say it
sense.
made
Yeah.
sense. It wasn't just doing shoulder tackles to do them. They're building up, and then even commentators like, I don't think her shoulder tackles are quite as strong as their one. Then Miu hits it, and then gets a near fall from a shoulder tackle. There's I wrote down it was a forceful bulldog, and then a Venus DDT by Yorkie. That looked really good because she just kind of pulled Miu and went for the bulldog. Then finally a teardrop by Miu, and then a gut wrench suplex by Yuki. Shot to the back by Miu, and then the power slam, and then like you said, the laser beam. It's like, did they say laser beam? It's like a baseball punch, kind of like Mayu does. The laser beam, the spinning teardrop. You know, anytime Miyu busts out the spinning teardrop, that's all she wrote. 1, 2, 3. Miyu wins. Yeah, this match was awesome. Great main event, 4 and a quarter stars, and looking forward to Miyu's run as the title. With the title here, but I think Yuki will probably get another title shot. But I think they got some plans for Yuki because she looked really, really good here.
Yeah, at the next Corkin show, they mentioned that former American Gladiator, now
Oh
turned independent
yeah.
wrestler J-Rod, will be taking on Miyu Watanabe, and Arisa Endo will be challenging. Oh, I'm sorry, no, it's Shoko Nakajima taking on Viva Von. Obviously, me and you've talked
Oh yeah, yeah.
off air.
Seen the
So,
graphic.
yeah, Viva Von, fantastic. So that's going to be really good. This next Corkin show looks like it's going to be another fun one. Tokyo Joshi Pro,
Mm-hmm.
always a really, really fun time. Obviously, Alice Crawley throwing in. We're massive fans of Kira Summer, Arisa
Mm-hmm.
Endo, terrific Suzumi, all the comedy stuff that we kind of don't get, but at the same time, it's like, okay, it's something a little bit different. So
Yeah.
thoroughly enjoying some Tokyo Joshi Pro Andy Header before we talk about what is potentially on tap for next week, because I always say card subject to change. Please, good sir, tell us your favorite gear and your favorite hair from this match, from the show.
But this one is a little bit of an easy one because it's not too often that Mizuki comes out in non-white or non-pink gear. Yeah, her black gear looked awesome here. I can't give it to anybody else. There was some nice gear on the show, but Mizuki wins by far. The new hair, the new gear, all dark, all black. She looked great. So she wins best gear, but she doesn't win best hair because somebody else had hair that was just at a nerd level, and the commentary said Tanahashi level. I think it was Hyper Masao wins best hair with her braids on the side and feathered hair. It looked great. It looked like maybe she went to the same person that does Tanahashi's hair because it looked great. So Mizuki best gear, Hyper Masao best hair.
Andy Header, I know I made mention this last week, so we're going to try to watch some of the matches from Grand Princess, just some of them from back in March. Obviously, the main event with Mizuki versus Rika Tamatsumi. I definitely want to talk about Willow
Mm-hmm.
Nightingale versus Miyu Watanabe and maybe some of the other matches as I pull up the card. I mentioned that last week. Obviously, I just did not get a chance to get to it. So some of the other matches that again we may cover: Mako Satomura versus Yuki Arai, Suzumi versus Arisa Endo. That's a match I definitely want to see. And then Shoko Nakajima and Hyper Masao versus Miyu Yamashita and Maki Ito. So more than likely,
Ooh.
we're going to be covering some of those matches from Grand Princess. But the main thing, Andy Header, that we're going to get into, because we have not covered them together as a team, because you were at New York Comic Con and
Mm-hmm.
they just really didn't release any shows. We're going to talk. Oh, hold on. That's Mako
Oh.
Satomura. That Mako Satomura was telling us what we're going to cover. So, yes, we'll be back covering Sendai Girls, the show from Sendai Pit, 10/17. There's only 5 matches on this
Oh, not
card,
bad.
Andy Header. So, we're going to go to, I'm just going to run down the match card, and I have not seen any of this just yet. So, we are in the semifinals of the Jaja Uma tournament as Spike Nishimura taking on Mariah Kogo. Match number 2, Nightshade. Oh, nice seeing Nightshade getting over Japan, taking on Dash
Yeah.
Chisako. Match number 3, or tree, as we say here in Scranton, we have our six-person tag team match as, wow, you want to talk about a power. There's a lot of power in this match. Listen to this, buddy. Hiro Matsumoto, Zones, and Soy taking on Team 200 kg. So Chihiro Hashimoto, you, and Ryo Mizunami. Wowzers.
Wow. Wow. That should be
The
pretty good.
the second semifinal match from the Jaja Uma tournament, Yuna, the junior champion, taking on
Mm-hmm.
Senka from Marvelous. Wow, I can't
Mm.
wait for that. And Andy Header, this is the main reason why we're going to cover this. This is your dream match, buddy.
Yeah.
Bob Momo Banana, Mia Momono, and Uriah Oka taking on Red Energy, Amika
Oh, there we
Wada, and
go.
Miyuka Takase. So only 5 matches on the show. That's again probably why we'll add on some stuff from Tokyo Joshi Pro. Again, maybe those last 4 or 5 matches from Grand Princess.
There we go.
That
That should be a good show. You know what we got? We got to find out because I was trying to find it, but I don't know where. The clip that was going on Joshi, the picture that was going on Joshi Twitter, Mika Wada with a shotgun. So I seen the little clip. She does go over to the merch table. She picks up. It's not a real shotgun, but to get be conveyed further. She gets it. She gets it, and she's like walking around the ring with the shotgun. They're like, oh, and Eureka's there, and I forget who else is there. Was it Zones and somebody else?
it
And
looked
Mika's holding.
like you was there. Was Shiro Hashimoto
I
there?
think yeah. So and it was an outside show. So if anyone can tell us how to watch this, if it's on Wrestle Universe or if it's on something else, and we can watch this, I want to watch the whole spot. And then obviously she's going to shoot him. Mika looks away for a second, and they all kick her and they disarm her with a shotgun. Because what's scarier than one of Mika Wada's kicks is her with a shotgun.
Yeah, I don't know which one I'd rather take.
Yeah.
I guess with that, Andy Header, let's call this one an episode. Now,
Mhm.
is there anything else you want to talk about, buddy? Or you just want to just
No.
plug your stuff and with the Spike Brainbuster and call this one a day?
Yep. There we go. So you want to get a hold of me on Facebook or Instagram? Search Andy Header. I will come right up. At Blue Sky, I am AH24, and X, Twitter, whatever you'd like to call, I am at Get Some Header, pun intended.
Folks, questions, comments, suggestions, anything you need from me, Matt Turner OF on the Instagram and the Twitter is the easiest, fastest, and best way to get a hold of me. Folks, don't forget to follow our new thing over on Twitter at Talk Joshi 2025, which obviously we'll be posting all the stuff, everything Joshi related, and then every Friday and or Saturday, myself and Andy Header will be giving our star ratings for the best women's and Joshi matches of the past week. We know Big Dave Meltzer, who we love and respect, does not really rank women's matches, especially Joshi.
Not really.
We get it. He's a busy guy. People get upset about it. Folks, we are here to heal your pain. We will give you our star ratings. Take it for what it's worth. Again, every Friday and or Saturday, just depending on the time and what we have going on. We'll give my ratings, Andy's ratings, and obviously if Rob wants to throw his in the mix, it's there as well. So talk at Talk Joshi 2025 on the Twitter. Or you can shoot me an email. You know what that email address is, Andy Header. It is the StardomCast 22 at gmail.com. Folks, that's going to wrap it up for another fantastic episode of Talk Joshi. We greatly appreciate your support. Can't do without you. It's like I always say, just not my podcast. It's our podcast because we're all together and everybody's different. Everybody's special.